Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into what is, hands down, the most famous love scene in all of literature. We're talking about the balcony scene from Romeo and Juliet. You think you know this scene, right? Romantic words whispered in the moonlight. But if you look closer, it's so much more than that. We're going to peel back the layers and see what's really going on up on that balcony. Because it's not just a declaration of love. It's a conversation that's going to change everything. So our scene kicks off with Romeo. He's hiding in his enemy's orchard, just staring up at a window. But for him, that's not just a girl in a window. Oh no, for him, he's looking at the center of the entire universe. Right off the bat, his very first metaphor is completely cosmic. And notice, he doesn't say she's like the sun. He says she is the sun, that she has the power to literally command the dawn and banish the moon. I mean, this isn't just a sweet compliment. It's him seeing her as this unbelievably powerful force of nature. And he doesn't stop there. He keeps going. Now her eyes, get this, her eyes are so bright that a couple of stars have asked them to fill in for them while they run errands. He's saying her eyes are so brilliant they could hang in the night sky and nobody would even know the difference. And here we have it, the peak of his worship. She's gone from being the sun to having eyes like stars, and now she's a bright angel, a winged messenger of heaven. He has literally put her on a pedestal so high she's no longer even human. She's a divine being he can only gaze up at in awe. Okay, so while Romeo's got his head way up in the cosmos, Juliet, well, she's dealing with a huge real-world problem. And she says it out loud, not realizing, of course, that he's listening down below. And this line, this is probably the single most important question in the entire play. And you know what? It's almost always misunderstood. So let's clear this up once and for all. She is not asking, "Where are you, Romeo?" Wherefore means why. She's asking, "Why are you who you are? Why do you have to be Romeo, a Montague, the one person in the world I'm forbidden to love?" It's a question about fate itself. And this right here is her central argument, boiled down. A name, she says, is just a word. It's a label. It has nothing to do with what something or someone actually is. A rose is a rose. And for her time, this was a truly radical idea, that the name your family gives you is meaningless next to who you are inside. So Romeo, who has heard all of this, steps out of the shadows, and his response is immediate and absolute. He basically says, "Done. I'll get rid of my name, my family, my whole identity, right now, for you." It's an unbelievably reckless promise, and it just shows you how all in he is. All right, so now they're finally face to face. They can actually talk to each other. But the conversation takes a very sharp turn, straight to the fact that they are in mortal danger. And this is where you see just how different these two really are. I mean, just look at this back and forth. It's amazing. Romeo is speaking in pure poetry. He flew over the walls on the light wings of love. But Juliet, she is brutally practical. She's like, the walls are high, and if my family finds you, they will literally murder you. He sees romance, she sees a death sentence. And how does Romeo react to this very real threat of being killed? He just brushes it off. He tells her that a mean look from her is more dangerous to him than 20 of her cousins with swords. You know, it's incredibly romantic, for sure, but it also shows he is completely disconnected from the life or death reality of their situation. Okay, so as things get more and more passionate, Romeo tries to make one of his big poetic vows. But Juliet, who is clearly the pragmatist here, just shuts him down. She wants a promise that's grounded in something real, not some flimsy romantic symbol. He goes for the classic, right? The moon. It's the go-to symbol for lovers everywhere. It seems like the perfect thing to swear by. But nope, Juliet immediately rejects it. Why? Because the moon changes. It's inconsistent. It waxes and wanes, and she doesn't want a love that's variable. She wants something constant and true. In one sentence, she completely deconstructs his romantic gesture. So instead, she tells him to swear by the only thing she can actually believe in, himself. And with that line, she elevates him to the status of a god. She calls him the god of my idolatry. He is now her new religion, the only thing she worships. But even in this moment of total commitment, she has this sudden flash of fear, a moment of incredible clarity. She worries that their love is just too fast, too sudden, too much like lightning. A brilliant flash that's beautiful and powerful, but then it's gone in an instant. It is a seriously chilling bit of foreshadowing. But that moment of fear, it passes just as quickly as it came. And it's immediately replaced by a concrete, life-altering plan. And guess who's driving this? Yep, it's Juliet. So in the span of just a few minutes, these two go from total strangers to planning their secret wedding. This isn't just a fantasy anymore. Juliet lays out a three-step plan. She will send someone to him. He will provide the time and place for the ceremony, and then she'll commit her entire life to him. She's the one who turns this romance into a real-world plot. And of course, they end with one of the most beautiful lines ever written. It's a perfect paradox. The sorrow of saying goodbye tonight is actually sweet because it holds the promise of seeing each other again tomorrow. To get married, it just perfectly captures the intensity of it all. So when you really break it down, the balcony scene is so much more than just sweet nothings. It's a collision. It's a high-speed negotiation between Romeo, the cosmic idealist, and Juliet, the clear-eyed pragmatist. In a single conversation, on a single night, they literally build a whole new world for themselves, and in doing so, they light the fuse on their own tragedy.